What does the future hold for gold? Nobody really knows, but it is starting to get quite expensive. And maybe one day this big ounce of gold here will be a thing of the past, unobtainable to the masses, replaced by fractional bits of gold. More affordable, you might think. But there are some big pitfalls that you might need to think about if you want to start stacking fractional gold. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining me for another precious metal ramble. Now today I want to talk about the future of gold. I don't want to talk about its price future though. That's a subject that's been done to death by a plethora of other subject matter experts, as they might call themselves. It's evident that gold has gone up in price over these last few years, and you can just look back at some of the things that I bought a few years ago. A 1 ounce gold coin for £1,015 and 60 British pennies. Now you'd snap my hand off if I was trying to sell an ounce of gold at that price right now. Of course you would, it's ridiculously low. And therein lies part of the problem for gold's future. Gold right now is at a pretty high price point compared with a few years ago. Even just 5-6 years ago, it has gone up a lot. And it makes it a lot more unobtainable for a lot of people. Putting away £1,600, £1,700 on one purchase in one go is out of the reach of a lot of people. And even stackers with larger budgets, you kind of feel like that's not necessarily the best deal to have. And in certain situations, I would agree. And the flocking to silver that we've seen in the last couple of years, I think backs up the fact that gold at the moment seems to be this unobtainium that has got a bit of a barrier to entry, certainly at the larger scale. When you take a coin, for example, like this 50 pesos, which is, I think, spot price of about 1900, something like that. This is a far cry from the about 1150 I think I paid for one or two of them back in 2017. It's a shame, really, because right now spending that much money on one gold coin seems a little bit too much. So is the future of gold in its fractional form? Well, my argument here is ultimately no, because whilst a lot of people think that buying fractional gold is actually way better because you're going to be able to actually buy some gold in the first place, rather than not actually getting anything for your money because you can't afford the full ounce. That's, I think, a bit of a misnomer. Now, some people will disagree with me and say, well, getting any kind of gold right now is good. But the smaller that you go with any particular item, whether it be silver or gold, the higher that premium is going to be. And premiums right now are, I think, a real key driver as to how successful potentially any bit of gold or silver you buy might end up being. Now, premiums is going to be the hot topic, I think, for this video, because something like this 1 ounce Baird & Co gold bar, it's just a bog standard bullion bar. You can see it's not in the greatest nick. It's just supplied as it was by a customer. I sold this on somebody else's behalf last week, and I sold it at spot price, and it didn't sell for a couple of hours at spot price. And that's coming from somebody with a big social media profile, a big newsletter with 750 people signed up to buy gold and silver at decent prices. Eventually it did go. I knew it would go within a few hours at least, but gone are the days when you could put a big chunky 1 ounce gold item up for sale and it would go within seconds. I remember the days when, for example, on the silver forum, you might put up a 1 ounce gold Britannia at 3 or 4% over spot. Everybody would clamor up and get it. But now you can barely give away gold at spot price. I say barely give away. It's still going to find a buyer. And I think that's the logical thing for many people, because if you're buying these fractionals because you feel that you cannot possibly afford the gold 1 ounces because of the huge spot price, and you think, actually, I can buy these 10th ounces for, I don't know, £200 a pop. When you do the maths, that's £2,000 for an ounce. And yes, there's an argument that the premiums will be held by these coins if you look to sell them, but if you go to a dealer and try and sell those coins, you will get spot. You might get 1 or 2% over spot if you're very, very lucky, but you won't get a lot for your fractional gold. So buying fractional gold does not make any sense to me unless you can buy it for a cheap spot. And the only real way that you can get a decent price fractional gold coin is either through second-hand markets, where you can find things like these old little tiny Britannias at decent prices over spot price, or you buy sovereigns, everybody's favourite coin. These are, in my opinion, the only way that gold stacking will be viable going forwards. Now, I love a big gold coin. There is no doubt that in my stack, I am very fond of a big gold coin. But of late, I have certainly been more favoured towards the smaller fractional varieties. I do think that we are in this interesting situation right now where liquidating, for me anyway, liquidating a £2,000 50 pesos gold is never going to retain a premium. If I buy this at a premium right now, that premium is gone, in my opinion. Even with my own connections selling in my own network, I don't think I could achieve a full-on dealer price for those coins. And I don't necessarily understand where a lot of the dealers are making their money on these coins. And in fact, I would go so far as to say a lot of them aren't. If you look at a lot of the second-hand listings on various different dealer websites, they are all still in stock. The things that go are the fractional stuff. The things that go are the sovereigns, the smaller varieties, the half sovereigns even as well. So very much I think we're in this situation where fractional is the future, but premium fractional is a little bit of a misnomer. It's a bit of a dangerous kind of trap almost. You know, it's very much what was it, Admiral Akbar? It's a trap. You know, you don't want to go all in on these things and paying a huge premium. If you can get them, if you can get 10 1/10 ounce gold Britannias at the same premium as you can in a 1 ounce gold, buy them. Buy them right now. If that's your goal to own an ounce of gold, fractionalize it, but do so smart. That's what I say. Do so with that premium in mind. Don't just buy fractional gold because you can't afford a full ounce and you think you have to have some gold. Make sure that you've got the right side of that premium. So that brings me to link into silver. I've got some silver out on the table here. I've talked a lot about gold, and a lot of people think that because they can't afford an ounce of gold at a low price, that their only option, and even a 10th ounce Britannia, £200, their only option is to buy silver. And to a certain extent, again, I will disagree that because you can't afford a bit of gold, you should go and buy a high premium piece of silver. I think that, again, like buying the high premium fractionals over a low premium ounce, is a misnomer. But there is definitely an argument to be had for buying silver at a low premium. And one of the things that people, I think, will forget is that silver's volatility will probably outstrip gold in terms of that potential return. It's difficult, though, to predict how and when that will be, and a lot of that potential return will be completely based on the premiums that you put in at the front end. Now, I've got a few kind of more collectible bits of silver out here on the table. As you may have noticed, my fellow ramblers out there, we're in a bit of a different background, and we're in the middle of the house move and the workshop renovation, and everything's happening all at once. It's quite exciting. So the point here is that I don't have any of my low premium big bullion bars available because they've all been put into some secure storage, and it's very inaccessible, which is a good thing. So I only have a very select few bits of gold and silver within my possession right now. So it is, I think, interesting to see where we will go forwards for silver and gold and fractional gold against big premium gold. Now, to finish the video, I want to share some of my own, as close to financial advice as I am ever comfortable giving, because I don't genuinely like to give financial advice. I'm not qualified to really do it. But if, let's say hypothetically, you've already made the decision that you've got a budget for gold and you want to go and buy some gold or silver, what would I do in your situation? So I'm in this beautiful, lucky scenario where I've bought a large amount of gold in previous years, where we've got £1,015 and 60 British pennies for this beautiful ounce here. I'm fortunate that I have got gold in my stack that is already exceptionally profitable. Would I buy ounces of gold right now? Well, I think I still would if I could get them at the right price. I think if I'm looking at dealers right now, and I keep an eye on dealers all the time. There are a number of dealers that I have on my bookmarks bar, and I always am checking their second-hand listings. And an example would be Atkinson's and Shard's. Those are my sort of two biggest go-to dealers. And I haven't bought anything off them in an exceptionally long time. I'm almost getting kind of gold withdrawal from Atkinson's and Shard's. I haven't bought for a while because there's nothing that strikes me as worth buying. All of their second-hand gold right now is 4-5% over spot price, even for a big ounce. And I know that I can buy better gold prices than that on the second-hand market, places like the Silver Forum, or even through my own buyers club. Not that I have actually to this date bought anything from any of the buyers that have come through. I just don't think I need to right now. It's a service that I'm offering out to everyone else, and I'm just selling it on their behalf. There's been a few things that I've been tempted to buy, a few sovereigns that have come in that I'm like, oh, well, I know what... It also seems disingenuous, really, for me to be advising somebody on a price point. So for my sellers club, if people don't know, if you're watching to the end, you might know already, but say somebody sent me in this Britannia to sell, and I said to them, well, look, if you want to sell it to a dealer, you're going to get spot price, or we could sell it on this market for maybe like 2% over for an older Britannia. It's a really good price. You could theoretically get maybe a little bit more. The dealers will probably sell this for 10% over spot if they can. But it seems a bit disingenuous for me to go back and say to this sort of buyer, oh yeah, you can get 1% over spot, but you also have to pay me a fee. So it doesn't seem quite right to me. But the point here is that there are cheaper options out there for gold and silver than the dealers. And right now, if I was looking to purchase stuff, I would not purchase premium fractional. I would certainly purchase very, very low premium fractional. In fact, I think I would choose that over an ounce of gold. I would buy sovereigns if I can find them at a decent price. And I would probably buy silver at a decent price if I could find it. And there are a lot of options and avenues out there for buying silver at a decent price. My personal favourite right now would be buying just big old kilo bars. If you can buy a kilo bar for under £700 here in the UK, that I think is a really good price. That's what I would charge for a kilo bar right now if I had one in stock from any of my sellers out there. 700 is a really great price for a kilo of silver, and certainly a far cry away from the 28, 29, 30 pounds an ounce that dealers will be selling bullion bits of silver for. Now there are of course premium items out there in this world, like the Queen's Beasts or these dragon bars and things like that, but generally speaking, premiums are not to be entertained on small bits of gold, in my opinion, and silver. It's just not worth it. You will not get your money back easily. It's important to say easily because it is possible, but it's not easy. And I think the story of this little 1 ounce gold bar is a good example. You can't necessarily even expect a quick spot price second-hand market sale on a gold bar right now, because it's maybe getting to the point of being unobtainable for the masses out there that just don't have the cash in this cash-strapped, inflation-ridden country and economy that we find ourselves, not just our country here in the United Kingdom, but all over the world. Certainly is proving to be a little bit more difficult. So anyway, that is my thoughts on the future of gold as it relates to sizes and fractionals and premiums. Interesting to hear what you guys think down in the comment section below. We have got a new background here in the Backyard Bullion household. It's going to be one of 2 backgrounds that we will potentially be using going forwards. I will be asking people's opinions on both, as you guys here on the channel, especially you at the end of the video, you love the old table, and I've often done a few videos on different tables and things, and I always get comments of people going, "Where's the table gone? Don't leave the table." Well, that table is now in our dining room, and it is our dining room table. For once, it is actually going to be used as a dining room table rather than my bloody work table. So I have a new table. It's a lovely recycled wood table, and I have another one which is a beautiful oak table, which we'll show at another time, the workshop table, as I will call it, and it's not quite ready yet. But this one is the office table for me, and it's cool, it's nice, I love it, and I'd love to know what you think. Maybe it doesn't matter to you, I don't really know, but look, I think it's interesting. It's kind of like the Backyard Bullion brand to have a nice wooden table in the background, and hopefully this one will do. I know a lot of you might not like change, but change is good sometimes. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed our video, then you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more content. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again to my ramblers. You're all in the Super Cool Kids Club, and I'd love to hear from my Super Cool Kids Club members down below. We'll see you next time. As always, thanks for watching.